The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
My brothers and sisters, this is a proclamation of the Holy Gospel as we find in the tradition of St. Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me." He replied to him, "My friend, who appointed me as your judge or arbiter?" Then he said to the crowd, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." Then he told them this parable. There was a rich man whose land produced abundant harvest. He said to himself, "What shall I do? For I do not have space to store all my harvest." And he said, "This is what I'll do. I'll tear down my barns and build larger ones. There I shall store all the grain and all the goods, and I shall say to myself, now as for you, you have so many good things stored up for many years. Rest, eat, drink, and be merry." God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded of you, and the things that you have prepared, to whom shall they belong? Thus it will be for all who store up treasures for themselves, but are not rich in what matters to God." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
In a number of occasions in the scriptures, we read about how in the Gospels Jesus comes out against the rich, and in the Old Testament about how the poor man is being vilified by the rich, taken advantage of. The merchants are fixing their scales so they benefit on what is sold, and how the temple people charge more for a lamb or an ox to be sacrificed than you would on the outside, or in exchange of money. The rate always benefits someone else, and the poor are always taken advantage of. And for a capitalistic society such as ours, where it is parts of our makeup to do our best to make money, to live a good life, sometimes this gives us a little bit of a sting. We just wonder, what is Jesus saying to us? Is it wrong to take care of ourselves, to work hard, and to enjoy the bounty of our labor? And this particular gospel I always thought was very poignant, because here is an individual who's worked hard all his life, has done well for himself, and now says, now I can retire. Now I can lay back, I don't have to work so hard, and boom. You fool. Your very life will be demanded of you. And to whom shall all this built up wealth go? This is a hard gospel to talk about because of the fact it goes so against our American way of life. Right from the very beginning, children are kind of focused in on doing well in school. Why? So that they can get the award at the end of so that they can move on and they can go to a good school. And how many times have you heard people say, even before the child is born, they're applying the child to an up-and-coming kindergarten or school for the young, where they're going to get the finest education. Their child is not even born yet, and already the parents are applying to these schools. Why? Because they want them to do well. They want the best for their children. They want to get them the best education so that they can have the best job, so that they can have the best money coming in, the best salaries, and have a good life. And is that bad? No, it's not bad. A little over the top maybe, but it's not bad. I mean, the child is still intrauterine and you're giving him algebra lessons. That doesn't make too much sense. But what we are saying is how do we use that which we have? How do we use that which we have? And we don't have to look far. Our society here at Fort Lauderdale, you can go to Los Olas and see how some people live, and you can go over here on Broward Avenue and see how other people live. And the disparity, it's far. There's a great distance between the two. So is one better than the other? Is one wrong and one right? No, no. But the thing is that if I program myself to become as rich as I can, without considering that there's other people out there, then that means that other people are going to be poorer than they are. Because there's only so much to go around. There's only so much money, goods. When we look at the statistics of the United States using the oil that is in the world, we use more oil in the world than any other country in the world. And why? Because we all have to have our own cars. If you go on the highway, and I challenge you tonight, count as many cars as you can without getting into an accident that have more than 2 people in them. For the most part, it's going to be just one person driving. Me too, you know? But that's the way of our life. That's the way of our life. And it's okay. It's okay to have 4 or 5 cars in the family so everybody can go their own way. It's okay. And yet, when we look at this gospel story, we have to say, well, what's wrong? What's wrong with establishing and saving and doing what I can so I can retire without have to worry about anything else? Dorothy Day, who became a Catholic later in her life, developed what is called the Catholic Worker Movement. And she was quite a rebel in her day. She was jailed any number of times for her social justice stand. And she said if people would not want to be so rich all the time, there would be people who would not be poor all the time. That somewhere along the line there would be some kind of a balancing of the goods that we have to share on this earth, and in our country, and in our state, and in our city. And it's very true that if I take, it's only, you know, it's like saying we only have one pie. So if I take 3/4 of that pie because, well, I deserve it, I've worked hard, then the other 1/4 is for the rest of you. Oh, you didn't get any? Oh, well. Oh, well. But if I took a smaller piece, if I took that which was allotted to me because of my hard work, then there would be enough for everybody to have a share in that same pie. It's what we do with the money that we have. It's the way our attitude towards what we have. And in many times when we find ourselves in a position to do well, then that's mine. That's mine, and I take that and I hold that, and I don't share it with anybody. Oh, maybe my family will get some. Maybe close friends will get some. Maybe someone who is really in need that I know will get some. Not all of it. Not all of it. Not even close to it. I give from my surplus, but I'm always going to make sure there's enough for me. I'm only going to make sure that that bank account doesn't go lower than X amount of dollars. That's for me. And that's wrong. That's wrong. And so today we look at this gospel. And I can't help but think of a woman that was in one of my support groups. She, in her life, ran several assisted living facilities, very large facilities. And she said the saddest thing was that when after someone died, the family would come and clean out the apartment. And she would go into the trash room, and there would be all these pictures of the family, of the person's family, their mother, their father, their brothers, their sisters. Those things that were so precious to them now are trash. And when we look at the things that we have, and say, is this going to be precious to someone else? Is this going to be precious to those who I leave it? Or is it going to be trashed? In most cases, it's going to wind up in the rubbish heap. A rabbi that we were talking to one time, giving us a course and some information about Jewish burial customs, said, people, I just want to remind you, there are no pockets in shrouds. can't take it with you. You can't take it with you. And one preacher said, I've done a lot of funerals in my life, but I've never seen a hearse pulling a U-Haul. And it's so true that those things that we are precious, whether it be money or jewels or whatever it is, when we're dead, we're dead. And as the poet says, death is the eternal equalizer. For princes and paupers lie down in the dust together, side by side, to become food for worms. Maybe that's not the image of death that we would like to take, but that surely is the image that has been presented, because once we are dead, we are dead. And the Psalms tell us that over and over and over again. The just man will live, but the unjust individual will leave all his good things behind and go into the grave for eternal darkness. So today, maybe it's an opportunity for us, as we're experiencing this heat wave and maybe staying inside a little bit more, to look around us and say, do I need all this? Do I need to spend money on this, that, or the other thing? Or can I share? Can I share whatever little or a lot that I have for somebody who is less fortunate than I am? And it's an attitude of mind. It's an attitude of mind. Remember, there are a number of saints who were kings and queens because of the way they approached their fortunes and used their fortunes for the betterment of other people, whether that be opening schools or hospitals or whatever. And maybe we need to take some guidance from their lives and pray that we too can maybe spend some time and do a double check on our life and see what it is that we can do to equalize the unequal use of goods and services in our world.